Drink 'em if you got 'em. 33-8. Absolutely the worst opener of McDaniels' career. Worst performance by McDaniels and his team of his career. And maybe Tua's worst performance of his career. I thought it would be close if Daniels went down. Of course, he got a new injury. And then we lost Duck. I'll get into it, all the gory details. Kind of sucks. This was I had said the Colts, I thought we were going to win. I thought it was going to be close. If Daniels was down, I had said at the beginning of the year, this team was going to play with fire. But they dipped us in a volcano and cooked themselves some Phins, guys. I'm not usually a guy to get too far ahead. If you've watched me over the years, people would always say they're winning or they're done. I say, pump your brakes a little bit. We got to give this some time. This was a huge game for us. We had to mostly win it because it's going to be a lot tougher going forward. But with the way this played out, what I saw, the keys that are clear, and the injuries we had, this spells big, big trouble. Not saying we're done. Smoke the opium if you got it. But there is some big troubles here. I'm going to talk about some of the good stuff because there is a little bit of good stuff, but it's far outweighed by the bad guys. There's no way of smoothing this over. So that's the whole deal. Anyway, please like and subscribe and all that stuff because I need it for the algo gods. I don't know if you have heart to do it after this one. But please, anyway. Because without you, without my sponsors, without the two of you, this show ain't going down. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. I got some stats for you and stuff. I'll give you my evaluation quick, and then I'm going to show you some stuff. I usually put film in here, but I just didn't have the heart. I'm going to go back and do a detailed film study, obviously, with the all 22, but maybe I'll put something together for you guys a little bit later to kind of clear up what I'm talking about, but I think you kind of know. But I got some good stats, some images with some good stats. It's going to tell a lot, guys. Injuries. Daniels, the Achilles, coming off it. He dinged his ankle, and now he's got a pec problem. He was ruled out right away. This is a terrible, terrible sign. And what makes it worse is Keon Smith is terrible. And then Duck got injured. I don't know what's going on to him, but he was ruled out right away. He wasn't playing good to begin with, but man, we could use that. This is terrible. Waddle, Hill, Minka also got dinged a little bit. We're in trouble here with the injury department. Tua. Look, you got to start out with Tua. But I think even if Tua played a good game, we weren't winning this one. You could see that Tua had a terrible game. I'll get into that. But this was a total beatdown. They had a potent front, and I talked about that with the tight ends. I had to cut some of it out with my Odarius interview. I was putting my stuff in there, but it got cut out because the audio was screwed up. But I talked about this on Phins Faithful with George. I'm going to go on live in a few minutes with that and vent over there. They out-physicaled us on that front big time. And you could see Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones, but when you got that kind of front, along with the skill talent, you could be good. And I'm not saying it would help do and make him good, but it sure would help make him better. But he had a terrible game. The first pick to Hill, I thought Hill bent it into too horizontal. He should have kept going more vertical. Tua, it looked like it sailed on him. I don't think it sailed on him. I think that he expected Hill to go a little far, but maybe Tua it sailed on him. Yeah, all right. But I'm saying that as a little caveat. The fumble is unacceptable, but the pressure was... We struggled in the pressure department. I'll show you that. Not terrible, but they were kind of running four a lot. But then he had that next pick over the middle. Tua wasn't reading today. There was I forgot who it was out open underneath. There was a guy playing high on him, but about 3 or 4 yards. You had to hit him. That was a terrible pick by Tua. Terrible. And he was off most of the day. There was an A-chan out that he was off on, wide a little bit. Maybe it became a first. Then there was that deep to Washington. That was way off. Washington had to jump after, leap after, and go out of bounds. He had another one on Waddle in like the fourth quarter. It wouldn't have changed the game, but he was off. It was a bad game for Tua. There's no way to slice it. Yes, this team situation is not good because they ran up and down on this defense. But some of that was the time of possession, and Tua didn't help it with 3 turnovers. Even if you want to take one off the table, the other 2 were unacceptable. It's a terrible game by Tua. No way to slice it. I'm not saying he's this or that, but this was a terrible game. He was a big piece of the puzzle to this ugliness. Now, defensively, we didn't do good. I'll get back to the offense in a minute with some of these graphics. But Duck was playing terrible. He got beat on a jam that was a touchdown. He was just he had a poor day. Marshall had a poor day. Douglas, he got beat on the deep. He tried to jam, and he looked like he was frozen, and he got beat. Minka got over late for a big play. Jack Jones wasn't good. That's all I noticed so far. But what I had said was, if that front can take care of that pressure, we got to bring the blitz. It's going to expose the secondary. And this is an elite front when you add in these unbelievable 3 really good tight ends, 2 very good blockers, 1 fairly decent catcher, and 1 stud. I'll get into Warren in a second. But we couldn't pressure, and we couldn't stop the run. Now, some of it was exasperated, but there is clear concerns along with this pass defense that without Duck, we're going deeper. We're calling grandmothers up to get into the secondary. Very concerning. Grant, he had problems stopping the run. He was moved out a lot. Got a little bit better maybe towards the end, but big concern. Wasn't too good in the pass rush. Butler was terrible all day. Not terrible. He wasn't the worst. Grant might have been one of the worst. I think he'll get better, but that was one of my concerns about him. Phillips struggled very early. Bad run stop. It improved towards the end. Chop was bad all day. Big concern because if he doesn't improve this run stop, he's going to get pulled out, and it's going to make him more like a Melvin Ingram thing. I'm not saying long-term projection, but this was a bad day. A lot of people said Chop can run stop. They're going to have a hard time continuing that narrative during this. I do think he'll get better, but this was a bad day for him. Chubb, he had a good day, but then it went downhill. The good news, I'll get into the little good news, is Jordan Phillips had a good day. Little slow. There was one where he got on a pass rush, and the quarterback was running out, and he couldn't get him. That's not his skill set. But he was not very good. He was pretty darn good for a 20-year-old in the run stop department. Sealer wasn't so hot. We struggled all day on everybody in the front and the linebacking group. I'll get into that in a little bit. Mobile quarterbacks we have problems with that. I think the mobile quarterback and combined with the good offensive line is going to be kryptonite to this defense. And I don't know if I should blame Weaver or not. He tried to blitz. It didn't really work too well. He didn't blitz. It didn't work too well. I don't know if Weaver's got enough magic in his box to get. Now, we're going to beat bad teams and lesser teams, but there's a certain combination, a framework of a team that's going to make it very difficult for us. And this, Jones played phenomenal. Crazy Eyes was on target, but he had so much protection. They used him perfectly. He's got a good OC. But just imagine if you up that quarterback level, what you're going to, problems you're going to have if you've got a good offensive line, good skill talent, and a pretty good defense. This is scary stuff, guys, no doubt. On Achane on offense, Achane had that beautiful run, swing pass for the touchdown. He wasn't a problem all day. He was good. Ollie had some stuff. He picked up a first down, but really couldn't get it going. I'll get into some of these graphics here. Here's the blocking grades. Patrick Paul did a very good job in pass blocking. You can see here, no pressures, but his run blocking wasn't super hot. Tana can't run block. You could see Jonah Savaiinaea struggled on both ends. He had 2 hurries, 2 pressures, not good. Brewer, they graded him with low pass blocking grade, but it was 1 pressure. I didn't see too much. Austin Jackson was terrible. A sack and a pressure. He was bad. He was bad all day. You could say he's been out for a month. You could say, I'm sorry on Austin Jackson. But I'm telling you, he's no good. He's no good. Keon Smith, who we're betting it on. Keon, pass blocking, 24.4 grade. He had a hurry, 2 sacks. He wasn't so good in the run blocking department. Not terribly graded here, but they ran away from him. You'll see they ran away from him all day. James Daniels, when he was in, he struggled a little bit till you can see the grades here. Not very good, guys. This is not good. This is not good at all. There's no way to slice it. We struggled early. It was a few here or there, but it wasn't. We've got to run all this stuff. You know, we got to run out of the OZ or the movement blocks, the gap blocks. We just can't line up and bash people, and you can't do it. And losing Daniels for an extended period of time is going to make that harder. Keon next to Jackson is like, forgot about running to the right. I think Jonah could pick it up. Jonah had some good stuff on a day, hit and miss, but it really did not look good. And this is not a notoriously good run defense. A lot of talent in the front. They have a very good defensive front, bad linebackers, and pretty decent, okay corners. I didn't really get to see how Xavier played. They got 2 pretty decent safeties. One's pretty good at the pass coverage department and run stop. I don't know. We'll go see Julian Hill. But I don't think that's going to be a winner when you get better linebackers and better run defensive teams. But maybe, hopefully, that's a positive maybe, so I'll correct that. But back on the defense, I'm all over the place because it's like shell shock. So here, see the top part? That's the Colts. Pressures total 11-8. And they had the ball half the time or third of the time. I don't know what the time of possession was, but it must have been like 30 or 40 minutes to like 20. They had 3 sacks. We had 1. 2 hits to 1. And considering how few reps we had, that's terrible. Hurry 6. I mean, when you've got double or triple the amount of plays and you outpace everything just about except hurries in the pressure department, that's bad. Tackles, it's hard to say because, you know, obviously they had way more stuff than us. But look at our missed tackles, 13-4. Now, maybe that would have expanded out if we had equal amount of plays, but we had a lot of missed tackles. But I guess maybe it's a full game. That's not terrible, but it's not happy times. And then stops, 12-23, but again, they had way more plays. There were some nice stops here and there, but there was no consistency. And so, understand, this team has a pretty decent quarterback, I guess when he's in the right framework with the right OC, a pretty decent defense, great front, but there's better teams out there than this. Now, I know we were going into their house, and I know that Irsay died, and I didn't like these matchups in some ways because they have it on both sides of the trenches where we kind of, I thought, had it on defense, but I'm not so high now. But this talent is so high, guys, when you add these tight ends. So we got to not totally go crazy on that. But offensively, this front of ours is not good enough. Again, I think we could beat the lower teams, the middle teams. But McDaniel, he had how much time to get ready for this game? We talked about the hoorah, the camaraderie. And this team, it played pretty hard, but they just were beat. But I wasn't too hot on his game plan. It was pretty much a lot of the same that I've seen. There was nothing really new out there. And I was so surprised that the DC from the Colts did what he did and still got what he got. And that's a very concerning sign. I thought they would play more passive, and they sort of did in some ways. But they brought a lot of guys up into the box more often than not, and they just dropped the guys, keep everything underneath, and try to get that pressure there and have problems. And it happened too quickly. I was very surprised about that. But McDaniel, he missed the challenge, which should have been for Hill. Then we had a 12-man in a huddle with four in the fourth quarter with 6:29 left. This team does look soft. It looks untalented in key areas. It looked underprepared, not ready to go. And it's only one game, but this is a big one. And McDaniel is now on the hot seat. He's going to play the Patriots. I still think we can beat them, but because their offensive line's not good. And they got young quarterback, a new kind of team here, although Jones is new for the Colts. I think it could be a challenging game, but I think we'll win that. But then you've got the Jets, who played surprisingly well, and in a similar formula, what you saw here with the Colts, except for Fields, is a little bit more mobile. But they played the Pittsburgh pretty well. I don't know if they won, but it was like 26-31, and you got a primetime game, and then you got the Bills before that. We can't be 2-2. I think that's very bad for us. Certainly can't be 1-3. And going 3-1 is what I thought. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We're going to have to beat the Patriots, and I think we're going to. But then you've got to win the next two, and it's going to be real tough sledding, guys. McDaniel is on the hot seat. This team's not totally cooked, but McDaniel has shown that more miss than hit in the tough times. How's Hill going to respond? Minka's going to respond. What are we going to do on this offensive line? We've got big games coming up, and we really need to come out smashing. We're going to and I think this Patriots and Jets team is going to be a little tougher outs than maybe some people thought. And what about against these really good teams? And as the more and more injuries stack up, it's a tough moment. Clearly you got Paul is a little bright spot, a little bit. Savaiinaea is a little bit of a bright spot. Achan's a bright spot. I think Ali could become one, but I don't know if we got the tools to accentuate that. Washington had some nice runs, but really wasn't able to express his talent. Defensively, we got Phillips, who was a bright spot. We'll see how it plays out, guys. I don't want to be too hard, but this was a bad game. So we got to regroup. I'll get the film for you. I'm going to do a lot of film. That's going to be a lot of the stuff I'm doing going forward. I hate the drama talk. Maybe it's not interesting to me or whatever. I'm going to still do it because it's key. But I'm just going to kind of give you football stuff. Can't wait for the All 22. Maybe I'll get you some stuff later. Guys, let's hold on to our seat. If we can turn it around, it would be an epic turnaround. But it's going to take a lot. And it could turn south hard. I'm not saying under 6 wins or 7 wins, but this loss here, I had said 7-9. It really does tilt the meter to not being able to get to 10. But you don't know. Let's see. But man, that was ugly. That was ugly. I got to take some medication to forget about that, and so does our team. Anyway, Curtis saying, be well, go Phins, Curtis out. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.